Hello, it's Bethany, and I'm a lower elementary teacher, so I teach grades 1, 2, and 3, so first, second, and third graders. And today I'm going to be talking about different picture books I read in my class. I thought this would be like an interesting video because I'm trying to appeal to first, second, and third graders. And also, I have opinions on different books and their lengths. So I like longer picture books, but that's typically harder to find because I read a picture book to my students before they go to lunch. So it's a way for us to sit and calm down for I like to do it 10 to 15 minutes, but that's a little long for most picture books. Sometimes I do read nonfiction books too of whatever topic we're going over, and those are obviously longer, but I'm just going to look at some picture books today. I'm going to start out with the best one so you actually see it in this video that I've read recently. And here's the thing, I don't buy the books. I just go to the library and I pick random books off the shelf. Now sometimes I'll pick more books that are leaning toward the thing, but this year so far I'm just pick books and hope they'll be good. I flip through just to preview to make sure they're good, and if I don't like something the book says, I will not say it. And usually with picture books it's fine, but you just have to be careful. When I'm reading, I'm just like, okay, maybe I should not say that, or just leave out like a word bubble or something. So the first one is, now I never knew of this author, but I looked her up, and usually I don't do that. I Love Blueberries by Shannon Anderson. I love it because it is a great length. It filled up like almost 20 minutes, and I'm not saying that I'm reading a book to fill up time. I just don't like when picture books have like 5 words on each page and you finish them in 3 minutes, because also in Montessori, we're talking to the kids in short presentations and like a bigger cultural group, but most of the time they don't have that sitting and listening to the teacher for 20-30 minutes type of thing. So a way that I like to practice some paying attention in group is to do picture books, so then I know that they're getting that skill of sitting and listening, because after Montessori, wherever they go, for anything, middle school and high school after that, or if they leave earlier and go to elementary school, they'll need that skill of being able to sit and listen and not just be up and around. So that's why I like picture books. But back to the story. So I Love Blueberries. And like I said, I randomly pick books off the shelf. This would be a good spring one because it talks about growing blueberries inside with like a science machine, one of those hydro machines. So it's that, but it also has poetry throughout it. And the lady who wrote this was a teacher too, and she has like a cool website, and she like teaches people how to read books now and is like a public speaker, so that's really cool. Or how to write books, I mean. But it also puts poetry in it and stuff, so this would be a great spring book to read. I read it to them now, and it made me very much want blueberries. It was such a nice book, and it also talks about friendship too, so that's nice as well. Another book, I have never read any books by this author, but it's these ones. These were short books, and so I actually read them both on the same time, The Retired Kid and It's Only Stanley. I don't know in which when you would read these books. Like The Retired Kid, he just doesn't want to go to school anymore, so he goes off to a retirement home, and then he comes back and says, actually, I like being a kid because all of the old folks want to be kids again. So that's the type of thing. And they were interesting books, but they were just a little bit short, you know. I actually just read this one yesterday, The World Needs More Purple Schools. It read almost, and maybe I should have looked it up, because I guess it's about purple being like, you need all these things in order to be like a purple person, and on this it even says like the world needs more purple people as another book. So I feel like there's some purple movement that I missed, or maybe it was before I started teaching, where like purple represents good students, and I'm sure everybody knows about this, but I do not. So it was a nice story just to say like the things that we need to do at school, and it was a decent length. This one, 789 it was like a mystery, mischievous numbers, but there was a lot of number puns. So if you're, but like older number puns. So if you're, you know, like a middle school or high school math teacher, this might be better for you and your students. I would like say, haha, that's a funny joke, and the kids would just blink at me. But it's a nice story. I did like this book, and it was a medium length to get through. Now this one, Read the Book Lemmings. Very random. I just picked it off the shelf. I read this like last week, so it's even hard to remember what it was about now. I could read the inside flap too, but what I do remember is that it kept saying the same words over and over and over, which is fine. But it didn't like add anything to the words, so it was just like the same thing. The lemming jumps off the cliff, and then they're saying, didn't you read that they don't jump off cliffs? And then it's like, tell the lemmings not to jump off the cliff, so they do, and then it's just like this big cycle of books. But it's interesting. This one, Red Shoes, is about a little girl that puts on shoes, and she loves them from the window shop, so her family buys them for her, but then she outgrows them, so she gives them back, and then it ends up that these shoes get sent to somebody that lives in Africa, so she always wonders about her red shoes, and then the girl in Africa really likes it. So I think this book might have been written so then if like maybe a kid doesn't want to give up like their toy that they want, like their parents want to donate, or their clothes, and they want to like keep things to show them like, oh, but somebody else can use, and we do like an Africa lesson in it's like February, March, we do Africa, so this would be a nice time when you're studying Africa to do it because it takes place in Africa partially. And then One Chicken Nugget. You know, kids love chicken nuggets, so that is why I decided to pick this book. And it just, sometimes the art just really gets me too, like, look what pretty colors. So this one is about a moral of the story of that mathematical folk. One Chicken Nugget is a monstrously funny twist on a classical mathematical folk tale. So it's saying you could have chicken nuggets for the rest of your life if you eat double the amount every day. And so it gets to like the biggest number. So it's also a cool kind of math book because it has really big numbers in the book. But also, it's like also if you're teaching morals of stories, this is one that's just a rewrite of the one where they do the grain one and then they multiply the grain, but it's chicken nuggets instead. So then, this is actually, those were all library books, and I could do another video when I read more library books. I wish I would have done my first set of library books because I randomly picked a lot of good ones, but I don't have them anymore. But in one of my, like the first week of school video, I think I talked about the few that I super liked. And then this one, I want to show you because I also read this one, but this is the one I have like a physical copy of. I mean, like, not from the library. This is Caps for Sale. It's actually my mom's favorite book. But I also have it in Español, se venden gorras. And so I would read one page in English and one page in Spanish, one page in English, one page in Spanish, and back and forth. And obviously that took quite a bit of time, which is fine. But I just like this book because obviously most of the kids don't understand the Spanish, but if I read it in English and they get the Spanish, because I do Spanish with my students on Friday afternoons. And so it was just a way to say, look, you could use Spanish in other ways, even though they didn't understand it fully, but they had the English version. So that's just a fun one. So I own these two books. And then just quickly, so after a while in the afternoon, like after lunch and recess, we also come to group most of the times, and I'll read a picture book, but after a while I get into chapter books, and I finally get to read this one again because with the 3-year cycle, you don't want to read books, especially chapter books, the same cycle of kids. So so if I read this in someone's first grade year, I wouldn't read it until like 3 years later, obviously, or 4 years later. So it's The Girl Who Learned All the Languages of the World, and I'm pretty sure this author is British because it uses like mum and stuff. But what I like about this is I like to learn languages, and so the kids, it's one way to put my passion into the teaching, but also it's a cute story. It's a lot of fun, and the girl just wants to learn all these languages, and it has in different things. For example, it has the words in all the languages, so I will look up in the Google Translate how to pronounce the words and just play the Google Translate of the different words, because I don't know all these languages, obviously, and obviously my accent isn't perfect in the different languages. So that's just a fun way also to get the kids like, oh, and also if you're talking about the world and the globe, like there's a lot of languages, and it's just a very cute read aloud book as well. I also do other chapter books. Maybe I'll make a chapter book video separately, but the next round of books, I hope you enjoyed this one so I could do another next round of books, and thank you for watching.